Hi, this is Bishop Coulter with another TMCI Word of Encouragement for the week. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt that you were inadequate? You felt helpless or useless at the time? If so, you're in good company, because the Apostle Paul felt that same way, and this is what God told him in 2 Corinthians 12:9. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." And Paul's response in verse 10 was, "Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest in me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, insults, in hardship, in persecution, in difficulty. For when I am weak, then I am strong." God's grace, His unmerited favor, is always present, especially in difficult times. Jesus tells us in John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer, because I have overcome the world." The Holy Spirit is here to guide us through difficult times. As a matter of fact, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 10:13 that temptation in your life is no different than others experience. And God is faithful. He will not allow you to be tempted to more than what you can understand. When you are tempted, He will show you the way out so that you can endure. God's promises that we'll not be tempted beyond our strength, but God will show us the way out if we let Him. We will be insulted. We will have hardship. We will be persecuted. We will encounter difficulty. That's life. But because you're a child of God, we can rest in God's strength in those situations. The problem with many Christians is that we try to let our flesh rise up and fight the situation. Many get weary trying to take and fight in their own strength. And trust me, if you're trying to take on Satan and his cohorts in your strength, you will be discouraged. You will be defeated. We have to learn to let our egos die, and in our weakness, let the Holy Spirit rise up and show us the way out. Paul had to suffer much physically, emotionally, and spiritually, but he learned to rest in God's power and not his. Paul released his ministry to God and became weak, so God could empower him to do all that he was called to do. It's the same with us. We have to die to ourselves and have our ministry die too, so that God can take in our weakness, empower His ministry in us, and giving us His direction and power to do the good work He created us for. By giving up your desires and letting God's desire fill your heart, you and your ministry will be revitalized. Many become weary in doing because they are operating in their desires and their flesh. Many ministries have become stagnant and are declining because many have taken control of their ministry and God's anointing has left. But be sure that it's not your ministry that you're doing, but make sure it's God's ministry that you're doing. One way to know if your ministry has become stagnant or declining is if you're ministering the same number of people you did a year ago or fewer. However, if you let the Holy Spirit guide you, He will bring new people across your path. You know, one of my daily prayers is, "Lord, bring new people across my path so I may speak life into them." Remember, God said there's sheep that will hear your voice. So your sheep is out there. You just have to go seek them. You have to speak and walk it out, and God will empower you. But remember, it's God's Holy Spirit that will direct you. So today, let's totally release ourselves in the ministry completely to the Lord. Let us become weak so that God, through His Holy Spirit, can become strong. If we do these things, we'll see how a mighty and powerful God we serve. Have a blessed week.